Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are live. It is Car Chronicles. Thank you guys for joining this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we have a discussion as we do every morning for Car Chronicles. I hope you guys are up and out and getting your coffee, starting your day, so we can get out here and make some money and boss moves. Good morning, Linda Gamble, and everyone joining. Yes, we are out and about doing our usual Car Chronicles. Melody McFadden, good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Special K. Cynthia Wayne. Carla, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Samika Watkins, Sexy Mama. All right, Sexy Mama. Patricia, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so we have a few things that we want to discuss this morning. We have a little morning discussion. I wanted to talk about y'all know we always talk about love and marriage Huntsville stuff. Like, how could we not? Like, that stays at the top of the list when we have discussions about stuff. So we are going to talk just a little bit about that, about an interview that I saw with Marceau and Tisha on Carlos King's podcast. Okay, I want to discuss just something that I saw on that kind of stuck out to me. Yeah, honey, we're gonna drag them just a little bit this morning. Y'all know anytime I'm talking about Tisha, thick tongue Tisha and baby teeth Gerber, Marceau, honey, yes, we are gonna drag just a little bit, because they deserve it. Because they acting funky out here in these streets. They acting as funky as damn Martell's penny loafers. That's how funky they acting. And baby, that's funky. Do you hear me? It don't get no more funky than that. The attitude has been funkier than Martell's penny loafers. And we know how funky them things are. We already talked about it with the skunk aroma scent from Pepe Le Pew. We talked about it yesterday, coming up out them shoes. But yeah. So, I saw an interview, all right, with Tisha and Marceau on Carlos King's, oh baby, them loafers. Tisha and Marceau did an interview with Carlos King on his podcast, all right? Now, the interview was supposed to talk about, or rather, they were supposed to be discussing themselves and what was going on with them in business and, you know, some love and marriage Huntsville news, blah, blah, blah. Why they always continue to, anytime they do an interview, which I think is just so crazy, why does the interview always go back to them talking about Melody? Like, do you guys not have anything else that you can talk about in your lives? Do you not have anything else going on that's positive? I mean, you guys got how many businesses? Like 2 businesses that's supposed to be multi-million-dollar businesses, according to Tisha, which we know that's a damn lie. If you got that much going on and you got multi-million-dollar businesses, why do you always revert back to talking about Melody when somebody is asking you about yourself? Tisha said in the interview she don't like to talk about herself because it comes off as bragging. Well, you don't like to talk about yourself because ain't shit to talk about. That's how I'm going to look at it. If you ask me something about me, say, Caramel, tell me about yourself, I can go on and on and on and on until you be like, damn, okay, Caramel, God. Oh, like you ain't got to tell us everything. If you asking me something about myself, it does not come off as bragging. You know, you talk about your accomplishments, talk about your business, talk about where you went to school. Like, there's a plethora of things that I can talk about myself, like I said, to the point to where you guys be like, damn, Caramel, okay, ugh. Like, I got somewhere to be, girl. I ain't got time to be sitting here all day while you steady talking about yourself. That kind. So Tisha's just like, oh, I don't like to talk about myself. Because it just comes off as just bragging. And you know, I don't like to do that. You know, and she was trying to kind of shade Melody, because there was a live that Melody had just done where she was talking about her 7th Avenue and whatever avenue it is, baby. 7th, 10th, hell, I don't know. Whatever avenue it is. She was talking about a few of her other business ventures and just things that she was getting ready to be doing. So Tisha tried to throw a little shade in there to say, I don't like to talk about myself because it comes off as not bragging. Okay, that's called promoting. Okay? And maybe your businesses will be doing better. You got businesses you should always be promoting. Every time you see Melody, she got on the t-shirt, some type of merch, some type of something where she is promoting and or advertising. I've never seen people who have businesses and you don't want to advertise and you see it as bragging. That's not bragging. You want people to come and support your businesses and spend some money with you. They need to know where to go. They need to know what time you open. All that. So yes, you need to be talking about those things, ma'am. So in this interview that they did on Carlos King's podcast, Carlos asked a question to Marcel and Tisha and asked them, because a bunch of the people were asking on the podcast, a lot of the viewers and or fans were asking, hey, why do we never hear Tisha and Marcel thanking Melody for getting them on the show and helping them out and helping them get where they are, and in terms of the business and just life period, because she really did. We talked about this so many times on my channel. Okay. And Marcel said, at the beginning of everything, he said he did thank Melody for helping them on the show. Okay. He also went on to say that, and y'all forgive me because I'm driving and talking, so I have a whole lot going on. So then he went on to also say that that Mel needed them more than they needed her, okay, to make the show. And what he meant by that was that originally Melody and Martell, when they pitched Love and Marriage Huntsville to Carlos King, all right, and as I told y'all, they originally wanted the show to just be about them, just Melody and Martell, and how they were doing in business in terms of them, fixing up houses and things of that nature. How Holt and Holt, they wanted to build a show around Holt and Holt. So Carlos King did not think that it would be a great fit to just have them on the show and just showcasing what they do. He wanted it to be around couples and showing their lives and what's going on in their relationship as it relates to the business and what they were doing in terms of, real estate and things of that nature. So he didn't think that his show would be interesting and or bring the ratings to just build it around Holt and Holt. So he kept Melody and Martell kind of like on wait for like 2 years, according to Melody, before they actually picked up Love and Marriage Huntsville. So Carlos King said that he told Melody, I need you to find some couples to get on the show, okay, so that we can build around them to build this show. So Melody kind of reached out to her friends. At the time, Tisha, Marcel, and them, they were really good friends. So she reached out to them to ask them if they wanted to be on the show. Originally, according to Marcel, he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be on the show because he didn't want, to be talking about his business. He didn't want the spotlight to be on him, etc., etc. So he then agreed that he and Tisha would do the show. All right, because it was supposed to stem around real estate. So they were happy to do it when it related to real estate, but then Carlos King kind of changed the narrative as to say they want to make the show juicy. They want to make the show juicy, so they wanted to have Tisha and Marcel and the other couples on there to discuss their relationships, their marriages, as well as, throw a little drama in there, as most reality shows have to do in order to keep viewers and or ratings. All right. So in doing that, like I said, Marcel says that, hey, the show could not have been anything had Tisha and I not agreed to do the show. So he said, so Melody should be thanking us, because had it not been for us, Carlos King probably wouldn't have gone ahead with the show. Well, they could have gone ahead with the show. They could have chosen someone else if you guys did not want to do it or felt that you weren't a perfect fit. So I don't know why they feel like that things could not have gone on and been successful without them, which is why, I'm hearing that they've been trying to do this whole takeover over the show anyway, because they feel that they bring the ratings over Melody. And I'm just like, that's some total bullshit. People do not want to see the Scotts. People do not want to see the Scotts, especially with everything that's going on, the way that they've been treating Mel and or talking crazy about her. So at the end of the day, I don't think that they actually make the show like that. Y'all are just seat fillers. That's how I'm looking at it. Really, they are seat fillers to the show. All right, because honestly, the episode that they just showed was really boring until at the end when they showed Melody and her mom. That people want to see her because she's great for TV. All right, so Marcel says that like I said, that Carlos was looking for those couples, and Marcel is saying he's not going to continue to keep thanking Melody. He said he thanked her in the beginning. And then Marcel was on this whole, you go to work every day Do you thank your boss every day, every time you get a paycheck? Do you go to him and thank him every time you get a paycheck? Like, you know, he always got to throw in some major shade and be messy as he always is. He said, I'm not going to continue to thank her when I thanked her in the beginning. Like, every time I see her, I'm not going to be in her face thanking her, saying thank you. He said normal people don't go and thank their boss every time, you know, that they see their boss just because they have a job or they're earning a paycheck. I'm just like, bro, that's kind of not the same thing. But people were saying that they have, he said, I don't think that I need to go on national television and give her a national thank you when we thanked her several times. And Tisha was sitting there with her thick tongue, steady nodding her head, you know, in agreement with him, because that's what he's trained her to do. Okay. That is what he has trained her to do. And every time he talks, like I said, her head is always turned towards him, and she's looking at his mouth like she's trained. Tisha's like a trained puppy when Marceau's talking. And I watch, like I said, I watch everything. I don't miss anything. It is so sad how it seems like she's so trained whenever he speaks. Like she has to be a certain way when he's talking, like he has her in attention or something. And she nods and agrees with everything that he says. And then she turned right back around and said the very same thing that he said in this interview. Yeah, we've thanked her a few times. We've thanked her a couple times. And I don't feel like we have to keep thanking her, because really she should thank us, because had it not been for us agreeing to do the show, then it would not be a show. I'm like, girl, show your ass somewhere and sit down. How about that? Show your ass somewhere and sit down. You and your thick tongue. You sit down on the seat and put your thick tongue on the seat. Because at the end of the day, we're sick of all y'all asses. We are sick of the Scots. Now, if y'all saw one of my recent posts where I showed you guys that Melody had heard a lot of stuff that what's the child's name that's married to Maurice, Kimmy, that Kimmy had been going around saying a lot of things about Melody. Melody has recently cut off Kimmy as well. She has cut off Kimmy as well. And I saw that coming on the show. I saw that coming. Maurice also did an interview where he spilled the beans about, and I put it in one of my posts, that Melody does not fool with Kimmy anymore. They are not friends. They don't hang out. They don't call each other like they used to do. Kimmy used to be really tight with Melody. Okay, but I guess that she's letting this whole Scott attitude rub off on her, to where now Melody has also given her ass the scissors and cut her off, because she's acting funny and running around doing this very same thing that Destiny was doing. I said, you ain't learned nothing from Destiny, Kimmy. But Kimmy, I got to give it to Kimmy. She did publicly thank Melody for helping get her foot in the door as it relates to Love and Marriage Huntsville, which kind of rubbed elbows with other businesses that kind of helped her out as well. As y'all know, Kimmy was on some type of real estate show. Had she not been on Love and Marriage Huntsville, that opportunity would not have been offered to her. Because Kimmy was just a nurse prior to this situation. Prior to her being on Love and Marriage Huntsville, she was just a nurse, okay? Nobody knew who they were. Melody brought them on the show. So a simple thank you, like I said, that does not mean that you're bragging and or kissing somebody's ass. You're just saying, hey, thank you. Had it not for them having Melody putting Schultz together, they would not have that business. So they were so busy trying to change things up with Schultz. And Tisha, as you saw on the show, she said, we changed Schultz. We've changed a lot of things with Schultz. Yes, you have. Because now that everybody knows that the business originated from Melody, since Melody came out and spoke about it. And that is why Marceau is so pissed at Melody. And he said it in his interview with Carlos King. He said he will never thank her again, because there's some things that Melody has done that he's pissed off about, that he just don't like, that he thinks was very messed up. Well, what? The fact that she exposed, the fact that she did help you guys, and that you guys had nothing, and that you worked at a movie theater, that's the truth. It is the truth. Narcissistic people do not like to be exposed. That is why I said Martell acts the way that he does, because he do not want to be exposed. They like to do their stuff behind closed doors, and nobody ever speak about it, because they like to keep up this image. Okay? Yeah. They like to keep up they like to keep up an image. Okay? So at the end of the day, that is why Marceau is upset at Melody, because she exposed the fact of who they were prior to them being on the show, because they had already put out this persona that they were these business people who were making major moves and major, doing this major stuff. In season 1, if y'all saw them, they try to make everybody feel like, oh, we're the Scotts and we're so important and we got all these businesses and we're making major moves in the community and we're doing this, and this, when that really wasn't the case. Like, they really were just getting on their feet because Melody and Martell kind of stuck, well, really Melody, stuck their neck out to help them, you know? So I don't understand why they are so ungrateful and they feel like, you know, everybody is just supposed to kiss their ass now. You know, and like I said, with Tisha trying to do all this revamping with Schultz, at the end of the day, I mean, you really can't operate in business anyway, now that everybody knows this situation that's going on with Schultz, while you guys are being sued for fraud and misrepresentation. You know, they're still talking about this business on the show, and they're not supposed to be operating in it, period. Because the company that is suing them, Zen Garden, is suing them for fraud and misrepresentation. They found out a lot of stuff that was going on with Schultz was just not on the up and up. And they were steady trying to do business with them and then turn around and sue them. We talked about this in another live, okay? I'm just not understanding what is going on with the Scotts and why they feel that they need to continue to do interviews and always try to go back and talk about Melody when nobody even asked them. Carlos didn't ask them anything about Melody, you know, except for, you know, all the fans and everybody that's been calling in and asking why do you guys not ever thank her when she's the one who actually helped you guys, you know? So it just seems strange. And like I said, Tisha never has anything positive to say about herself. When somebody asks her, when she does an interview, she never talks about herself, what she's doing. You know, the most I've heard Tisha talk about herself was when she sat down in this most recent interview, or most recent conversation with Martell when he was trying to get back into Schultz. You know, she went on and on about her being the boss. I'm the boss, and we're doing this and we're doing that. That is the most I've heard her talk about herself and kind of uplift herself. I've really never heard her talk about it, and I've seen her do a couple interviews. Most of every interview that she's been on, when she went on Carlos King's Nightcap, she still turned around and was throwing shade towards Melody. And they were asking her about herself. How are you and Marcel? How is this? How is the company doing? She still went right back and was throwing shade about Melody. And I'm just like, girl, nobody asked you about Melody. You are so consumed with talking about Melody that you cannot even discuss yourself and what you're doing. It's so sad. It is so sad. Moving on from that, I did want to discuss where I pulled up a post about Nia Long. You guys already know what she is going through with her now ex, okay, Ime Udoka, okay. Y'all already know the two of them have been going through it with him being unfaithful to her multiple times. It wasn't just with this vice president's wife, okay. Now, he had been messing with her a few times, and as we know, the husband actually caught them messing around again. They're saying through a doorbell camera there was inappropriate conversations going on, and that is how the husband found out that the wife was still messing with Ime Udoka, because he already caught them before, and he forbade his wife to see Ime Udoka again. She continued to see him, but the last time that she got caught with him, she was trying to say that it was not consensual. So we're trying to see now how this situation is going to pan out, because that could mean charges for him if that's the case, okay? They're saying that he has messed with several other women as it relates to the NBA as well, and that he has cheated multiple times on Nia, and she wound up staying with him during those infidelities, all right? Now, most recently, I saw a post where it says that I think TMZ or someone caught up with Nia Long, where they actually saw her out and about for the very first time since this situation broke between she and Ime Udoka, and they asked her, how are you guys doing? Are you guys trying to work it out? Where's Ime Udoka? Why she didn't have her ring on? She always had on this ring, that he gave her when they had their spiritual ceremony. She did not have her ring on, and they were asking were they together, and she's saying that she's single. So it's looking like she may have left him, that the relationship is over. And if that's the case, I applaud her. Because I feel like if you continue to give a person chance after chance after chance and they don't get it, and they continue to cheat on you and or disrespect you, at some point it becomes your fault, because they are continuing to show you who they are and you're not believing them. That's how I look at it. Okay, really, I'm after the first time, I gotta go, because that says to me you have a problem. you have a problem. There are too many things out there that a person can catch, and we're gonna talk about that we're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. There's too much out there to be catching for people to just be out here all willy-nilly, just bed hopping as he's been doing. It seems like he has a sexual addiction to where he has to be with multiple people. If that is the case, why are you telling everybody you're this spiritual being, and then you want to have this spiritual ceremony with her, to try to lock her down while you be out here bed hopping and doing what you want to do and making her believe and or think that you're being faithful to her, and will go as far as to uproot her and her children to move closer to you and use your side chick to assist you in moving her. I mean, it's the disrespect for me. It's the disrespect for me. I don't get it, and I don't understand why he would go as far as to do that and be that disrespectful, and then want to be surprised when this person want to up and leave. So according to what I saw in a most recent post, it appears that Nia Long has left him. So I'm very happy about that. I applaud her for that. And hopefully the next person that she chooses to be in her life and or be in a relationship, that it will not be the same type of man. Because as I said in another one of my posts, Nia Long has a type, okay? Most of the men that I know of, that I've researched, that she's dated and or been with, the relationship ended in infidelity. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. But like I said, she dated Peter Thomas, who was married to Cynthia Bailey from Real Housewives of Atlanta. They dated for some years. That situation ended in infidelity. Her oldest son's dad, he also cheated on her, and that relationship ended as well. Now her son, her 10-year-old son that she had with Ime Adoko, as we all know, this situation is very, very public. I know it's very embarrassing to her that she has to live this out. Every time she steps out, she's got cameras and paparazzi and people constantly asking her about this. She's trying to move on with her life, and it's difficult. It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. It has to be. When they caught up with her, they had the cameras, they showed her. She had her head down. She didn't want to be bothered. She looked very embarrassed. Like she was just really trying to get to her car. She had her keys in her hand. She was walking fast. She just did not want to be bothered. I know she's tired of hearing about it. Every time you turn on the TV, she's seeing it. He's probably blowing up her phone, asking her to come back, apologizing like he's probably done 1,000 times before. Like, it's just one of those situations that just will not go away. It's kind of like Groundhog Day, that movie, where you wake up and it's the same shit going on every day. You wake up, it's that same old mess over and over and over. Like, you just cannot escape it. And that's probably how she's feeling. I think she needs to take some time after this situation and just kind of focus on herself and reflect. Kind of if she's spiritual like that, maybe she wants to say a prayer and ask for some direction and or how to get past this situation, and kind of do like a little spiritual cleanse, and cut on your spiritual antennas so that you can make better choices in the type of spouse and or person that you choose to be in your life. Because at the end of the day, whoever you're with, you're supposed to be equally yoked. And it seems in this situation, she was unequally yoked. Okay? We can't go by how fine a person is, how much money they make. All of that is irrelevant. At the end of the day, if you're unequally yoked with a person, it's not going to work. And it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much sex you give them, how many times you cook for them and or take care of them. It's not going to work. And people need to understand that. Stop forcing situations. And I'm not saying she did that. I'm just speaking in general. Stop forcing situations when you know it's not working. Okay? We should be working on ourselves. It says when a man finds a woman. We're not supposed to really be out looking quiet as kept. We're not supposed to be looking for a man. The good book says when a man finds a woman. So we're supposed to be working on ourselves. Men supposed to be working on themselves as well. So that when the two meet, it's just, hey, it just is what it is. When you see that person, you know it. When you see that person, you know that that's the person you're supposed to be with. Like Martell was saying, oh, I'm ready to be married again. How? You haven't done any work on yourself. Being in a relationship, being in a marriage, it takes work. It don't stop at I do. And people need to understand that. Work on yourself before you meet this person. Fix your credit up. Why you want to go in a situation where you got bad credit to put all of that on the next person? That is the situation that's going on with Tisha and Marso. Why does Tisha have to get everything in her name? Marso did not do the work. He didn't do the work. He chose someone who had already had their stuff together, and he attached himself to that. And he felt like, okay, this can work. Like they said, what we have going on in my relationship, it works for us. Well, I bet it does. Because most of the work is coming from one person. A marriage is two people coming together to become one. Okay? How can you become one when you're not one with yourself? You haven't done no work. You haven't done any work. Fix up your credit. Work on getting some type of counseling. Work on your appearance. All of those things. When you meet a person, the first thing they see is you before they even hear anything out of your mouth. You know, don't be walking around out here with Stacey Adams with the damn heels leaning to the side. Your pants not ironed, your shirt not ironed. Fix yourself up. If you're looking for a mate, you know, women want to walk around, and I don't have anything against people walking around with their head tied up. But you have to present yourself. Present yourself in a way to where someone will want to look your way. Why are you out and about with a damn headscarf on? Why you out with a bonnet on? Why you at Walmart with a bonnet on? Come on, women. We got to do better. We got to do better. Fix yourself up. You should not be out and about in pajamas. I see it all the time when I go to Walmart. I'm like, what? Why I be saying to myself, what the hell they got pajamas on for? You got straight out of bed and went to Walmart. Probably ain't brushed your teeth, nothing. And then you wondering why you single, why you ain't got nobody. That's why. When a man finds a woman, how is he finding you? Is he finding you with bad credit? Is he finding you with your hair flying like you done been in 12 fights and you done did 25 cartwheels in your living room? Is that how he's finding you? Is he finding you where you got to put everything in your mama name because you ain't doing nothing with yourself? You can barely keep a job? Like, we got to do better out here. We got to do better. We've got to do better and stop choosing anything just to say you got somebody. You know, let's move on to this other post that I saw as well. I wanted to discuss with Nick Cannon. Y'all know he's already had his 10th child. Okay. Most recently, 2 weeks ago, he had his 9th child. All right. A most recent picture has surfaced online showing Nick Cannon having multiple bumps on his mouth. And everybody's asking, what is it? Nobody knows what it is. Like, what's going on with Nick Cannon? He showed up, he had on this turban on his head. I'll probably post it in one of my posts here today so that my Caramelians and or followers can see it, because I do have it in my phone. Everybody's asking, what is this? What's going on with him? You know, as y'all know, he has multiple kids with multiple baby mamas. Okay. Yeah, multiple. And he has, like I said, most recently shown up with all these bumps and stuff on his mouth. I mean, everybody trying to figure out what the hell is going on with Nick Cannon. What is that? And that's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of embarrassing. I saw where somebody did a comment that says whenever I posted that he had his 10th child, that, oh, he's a millionaire. Okay, he is. Congratulations. Does that give you the right to be out here bed hopping and making all of these children because you're a millionaire? We already said it. Kids need emotional support, not just financial support. It is virtually impossible for this man to be at every one of his baby mama's house to give all of these kids that he has now produced the emotional support that they need. Okay, he is creating, as I said before, broken homes. It's no different than Pookie in the hood laying up with multiple girls. The only difference is Nick Cannon has money. That does not make it right. And it's obvious that he is not being protected. If you see the picture, and I'm going to post it, because when I saw it, I was like, oh, Jesus, the bumps. The bumps. He has the bumps on his mouth. And that's not a good look. And women are still laying up with this man because he has money. Like, my God. It's so sad. It's so sad that a person would lower themselves and or their standards for $1. You might as well be out here on the corner if that's how you're going to be. if that's what you're being driven by is money, I mean, my God, I don't understand why people feel like, and somebody came for me in one of the comments when I posted the post with him having his 10th child. That is not good behavior. And I get it. They said he's sick and he's having these kids because he wants to have he wants to be able to have someone to draw, I guess, bone marrow, whatever it is he's going through. I get it. I'm just like, bro, you should have it by now. You are at your 10th child, and they're saying by the end of the year, he should have 14 children. So you're telling me with him being a millionaire and him having all these businesses and making all these TV appearances, that he has time to father 14 children? I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, that's pushing yourself very thin. Somebody is going to be missing out. Somebody is going to be missing out. Now, it's great. Like I said, he has the money to make sure they have what they need. His most recent baby mama is upset because he will not pay for her to have a full-time nanny. Okay? He will not pay for her to have a full-time nanny, so she's asking the public to come forward and assist her in paying for a full-time nanny. We talked about it. Okay? So I don't know what type of arrangement they have, like I said, but it's looking kind of shaky. I don't agree with that type of behavior, because there are enough children that are growing up without fathers. Boys especially need dads in their lives. There's certain things that moms just cannot teach boys. It takes a man to raise a man. It just does. He has sons. Some of these kids that he have are sons. They need him. They need him. He needs to be there in the home. You're teaching your kids that it's okay to live this lifestyle, because that's what they're seeing. It's kind of giving me Sister Wife vibes. The show Sister Wives, where this one man has all these women and all these children. That's what it's looking like. It's embarrassing. It's low-key embarrassing. And like I said, it's no different than an ordinary guy from the hood that's just laying up with several women and just making babies. Like, when does it end? And a person can have as many kids as they want to, but morally, it just does not seem right to have children just all over the place like this with multiple women. It just does not seem right. It don't seem clean. And according to the picture, like I said, that they just showed of him, something is going on. Somebody's pH balance is off somewhere. Because when I tell you, he's got these crusty bump things on his mouth now. I don't want to say what it is. It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't want to say what it is. But yeah. So women, please protect yourselves out here. If you're going to be running loose like a goose, make sure you protect yourself. Make sure you protect yourself. Yeah. Because it's sad. It's very sad, and it's very dangerous. All right? Definitely. So I will post a picture later on today so that you guys can see this picture, honey, because it's just, ooh, I said, oh, Lord, it's giving too much. It's giving too much. Yeah, I think women kind of get tied up into the whole, oh, he looks fine. And we're going to go back to the Martell situation again, because like I said, that is the reason why he stays in the gym, because it's about appearances for most women. When they see a man, like I said, the eye candy, that's what they look for. Oh, he's fine. If you go in Martell's IG posts, most of the women on there are pick-me women. And they're constantly telling him that he is fine, he looks good, and they're flirting with him and all that in his IG. And that feeds into his ego, which makes him stay in the gym and continue to do what he's doing. Martell is another loosey goose. Okay, and like I said, he is mad and pissed off at Melody because she exposed that. As to say that he cheated and did all of this in the marriage, when he was caught in several lies saying that the only person that he had cheated with was Ariane. That's a lie. Now we see it on the show where he's admitted to messing around. Now, he did mess with Melnika when everybody was, and he mentioned as well that he did not. Now it's coming out that he did, which I never believed nothing he said anyway. Melnika has never admitted it, because she wants to be on this whole I'm married now, and I can respect the fact that she's married. She don't want to talk about it. But if it happened, it happened. I mean, I could tell by body language that there was something off and that something was going on between the two of them. Just quiet as kept. Yeah, their body language and the way she was looking at him, just their body language and everything, I could tell that something either had gone on or something was going on between the two of them. When Melody mentioned that she was, that Nika was their wedding planner, and that she wound up quitting a couple, I want to say weeks. Mel said a couple weeks before the wedding. Nika said that it was months. I mean, months, weeks, hell, at the end of the day, you shouldn't have been the wedding planner from the jump, because you done laid up and had relations with Martell. So that was inappropriate to me. I'm just saying. Melody has said that Martell has been with multiple people in their marriage. Okay, multiple. So, and he's really with multiple people now, because I've done several lives where we've talked about him paying women on IG and everywhere else to sleep with him, one of which he paid $4,000 to. So that is his game out here, meeting these women and paying them to lay up with him. And I don't think Ariane realizes that she was just one of those women too. I think she's just one of the ones that really caught feelings, and she was looking for more in the situation and wanted to be the main chick. But I don't think she realizes he wasn't looking for a main chick. He wasn't looking for that. Okay? He was looking for her to play her position and continue to allow him to come over there and lay up with him and dog her out and treat her the way that he was treating her and give her little money and be away. Okay? So she's conditioned herself to believe that she was Melody and that she was, you know, supposed to be in Melody's spot, and that he was getting ready to be, you know, leaving Mel and being with her. But my whole thing is, you were just one of the other ones, ma'am. I need her to realize that. You were one of the other women that Martell was just messing with. And she became very cocky. She became very cocky in that situation. Even towards Melody. Very disrespectful and very cocky towards Melody. And now I think she sees what it really is. Okay? Because she's still out here fronting and faking. If you guys saw the most recent live with her, where she was in somebody's parking garage out saying she was out shopping. Said she could not find her car. And I said, bitch, you cannot find your car because it was repo. We done talked about this. She is walking around in the parking lot saying she just finished shopping. She just finished shopping. She did not have not one shopping bag in hand. Okay, most people have shopping bags when they go shopping. She was talking about her boutique line and how it's doing so well. She's selling so much, and she's thanking her fans for going on and spending all this money to make her boutique be the success that it is, allegedly. And she's also, she kept saying, I can't find my car, I can't find my car. And several people in her live were saying, well, use your, cut your alarm on, you know how you do when you're looking for your car. Like, turn your alarm on so that you could, you know, see where your car is. She never did that. She just kept walking around saying, I can't find my car, I can't find my car. I'm like, girl, did you forget that your car was repossessed? Like, why are you on live faking the funk, trying to make people think that you got a whole car out here? Now, if you're looking for your Uber, that's different. Now, we know you've been taking Uber and you've been on the passenger side of your best friend ride trying to holler at me. We know you've been on that. Don't be out here faking the phone talking about you looking for your car on live when everybody knows you ain't got no damn car. Like, what is really going on with this girl? I just don't understand it. I do not understand it. But she's another crazy one. She's another crazy one, like I said. And Martell has you know, it's like she's got Stockholm syndrome when it comes to just life, period. Martell has really damaged this girl. On top of all the damage that she's already had prior to meeting him. Yeah, it's looking very, very crazy between the two of them. I don't know what it's gonna take for her to find her something to do. for her to get a life. Because like I said, every time Mel goes live, Ariane goes live too. And it's like she's trying to upstage Melody, which she could never. A bitch could never. Like I said. When Melody went to New York Fashion Week, Ariane was in New York Warehouse Week. Walking back and forth between the bathroom stalls. We already talked about it. Everything that Melody does, she's trying to replicate it. Okay? Martell is doing the very same thing. They sit back and watch Melody go on live. Every time Melody go on live, whatever she says, they go back and say the same thing. I don't know what's going to happen between the two of them. I don't know what's going to happen with this situation with Nick Cannon and them bumps and all these situations with these kids. Kudos to Nia Long for deciding to walk away and leave this Ime Idoko situation. I hope she stays away and not allows him to talk her back into coming back, because that's a very unhealthy situation. Okay? And this situation with the Scotts, I really hope that they come to the realization that they have really made a mess of their life. You on a whole platform where you could have really made some really boss moves out here, but you guys, when you come from, most people that come from nothing like that, okay, it's looking like they're trying to keep up appearances. If y'all watch the most recent episode, they're focusing on trying to look rich versus being rich. Behind the scenes, not so much. But when you see them, they want you to make it appear that they are movers and shakers out here, pulling up in the Mercedes with the doors that go up. Maurice pulling up in his sports car. Meanwhile, you ain't fixing nobody credit and got all these bad reviews for your business. Okay? You ain't solved not one case. Scotts, they ain't doing nothing either. Everything revoked. Everything expired. But you pulling up in Mercedes and everything else. Cars getting repossessed. Like, at some point, they need to get a clue and realize that what they're doing is just not working. Love and Marriage Huntsville is about to go away. So them checks are about to be gone. I don't know what they're going to do when the show is over. Okay? Because they didn't make good use of the money from this show of all these seasons. Like, you've had season after season after season to get it right. You cannot continue to blame Melody for your indiscretions and for things that's going on in your life and or marriage and everything else. So they're going to need to figure some things out. That's my whole point, okay? And I'm going to end it right there, all right? I want to thank you guys for joining my live this morning. I just want to have a casual discussion about several things that I've been seeing in the media, okay? Like I said, I appreciate you guys for joining. If you did not press the like button, please go ahead and press the like button. Also, please subscribe to this channel, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining, and y'all have a blessed and beautiful Monday.